Hey everybody, it's Melissa. I'm going to be doing some first impressions with very popular scents that a lot of you have asked me to review time and time again. As always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. Shout out to the girl that sent me these. You're the best. All right, so we are going to start with this Bond 9 fragrance. This one is called Nomad. And honestly, I thought these were candies when I received them, but they're not. It's just really cute packaging. Oh my God, it is. Look at that. All right, here we go. I don't know the notes of any of these fragrances that I'm gonna make in this video, by the way, or review, kind of review. First impression. And I gotta tell you, Bond fragrances, at least the ones that I've tried, have been very subpar. There hasn't really been one that I was over the moon about. Okay. This right now is giving me kind of like a rose oud vibe. I will tell you off the bat, I think that it smells, before I put it to my nose, it smells like a feminine fragrance. However, there are a lot of niche fragrances that are marketed as unisex, which I believe this is probably a unisex fragrance that guys in the fragrance community have no problem wearing for themselves. Like if you're somebody that enjoys something like Halfeti by Penhaligon's, then I think you're going to like this, or even Risala by Arabian Oud. It goes in that direction. All right, so overall you can say pretty unisex, but just up front in that opening, I smelled rose, I smelled floral with a little bit of that oud, which is why it just registered in my mind as a more feminine scent off rip. Now let me put it to my nose. It's an oud rose fragrance. It really is. And listen, me personally, I mean, I understand the appeal of these scents. And to me, they're I consider these to be good, complex fragrances. And what I mean by that is the average person that is smelling fragrances at Sephora, at Ulta, at Macy's, they're not exposed to scents like this. If you were to take that average person that's in Sephora and then you spray Nomad, they're gonna go, whoa, that smells luxurious, that smells rich. At the same time, it's just like, do I like this? And it's just a much more complex fragrance. Like I said, it's a polarizing sort of scent for the average nose. So to me, I think that that is the appeal of something like Nomad, is when you wear it, it's not the typical fragrance that anybody will get confused with just your average designer scent that anybody can find at the mall, right? So this is already something that has a distinct profile that, to me, again, not my personal favorite, but I see why a lot of people like it. Now, this, oh my gosh, I bit my tongue. This smells kind of like, to me, like an upscale, I see it as more an upscale event sort of fragrance, right? Let's say you're getting dressed up. You're definitely going out. I don't see this as a lounging fragrance or as a, hey, I'm about to go run some errands, like dressed casually. I see this as either a cold weather scent in general, like we're talking sweater weather, so you want something that's going to be sweeter, that's going to push out, or more daring, right? Or just a nice, like you're going to a gala, you're going to a wedding, you're going somewhere where you're going to dress up, and you kind of want to have this unique scent to you that is going to draw attention in a good way. Because again, with oud, in case you don't know what oud is, it's a woody scent, and sometimes it could smell animalic. And if you're wondering, Melissa, what do you mean by animalic? Just picture a barnyard. Just imagine yourself taking like a deep sniff inside a barnyard with some animals in it. And that is kind of what oud can smell like when it goes in the wild direction, all right? So that is what I mean by polarizing. People typically hate that smell, but for some reason with fragrances, especially with niche ones, and when you're in the fragrance community, a lot of people love oud scents because they're dominant, they're powerful, and it's just kind of like an FU sort of note of like, I don't care if you like this smell or not, I'm gonna wear it because I like it. And if you have that sort of vibe, then I think you're gonna like Nomad. So that's just, again, my initial impression of where this fragrance took me. It definitely has a personality of its own. It's not something that I think is a camouflage fragrance where you could spray this on anybody and it'll work really well in comparison to something like L'Homme by YSL. That fragrance I feel like can be fit on anybody, but this right here takes a more bold, daring personality to really pull off nicely. Okay, so I'm gonna put that to the side. Next up, we are gonna be doing an impression of, this is the newest Aventus. This is Aventus Absolu by Creed. I think this recently just dropped. And am I a fan of Aventus? I like the Aventus cologne and I like Aventus for her. The OG Aventus is nice, but I just think the other two are better. So here we go. Any second now. Why isn't it? Hold on. Okay. Hold on, it's not coming out. Is it blocked? Okay, wait. There it is. Okay, there's the spritz. I had 2 sprays, but maybe those equal 1 spray. But let me see. There, okay, now we're talking. 4 sprays now. And before I put it to my nose, fresh pineapple is what I'm getting right now, and it's nice. It's fresh, yeah. It's good. It's good right now. Just before I put it to my nose, let me put this behind my back, because I didn't know this was going to be a strong scent, to be honest, but I gotta put it closer. I like it. It's like there's a fruity punchiness to this opening that I'm getting with. Y'all know me. I love fresh and clean fragrances. That's just my move. Like, this is just something that off rip I could tell you is going to be more in that summer, springtime direction. And of course, I'll be doing full reviews of every fragrance I'm talking about in this video, just so you guys know more about the longevity of these scents. Is there a little bit of like an orange? I smell some orange in this as well. Like, when I first sprayed it, it smelled pineapple-y. But then right now it's smelling like orange, and I love orange in fragrances. And the thing is, the orange here, it's not super tart. In fact, there's a little bit of, it's like a sweet orange, you know? Still works really well in fresh weather, but there's a sweetness right now that I'm picking up, excuse me, with Aventus Absolu. It's nice. I have to say, it's nice. I'm wondering if this is gonna have the smoky sort of afterbirth. I don't say afterbirth. If you know that reference, you get me. But if it does have that smokiness that comes in like the original Aventus, I know actually people love that. But what I love about Aventus cologne is the fact that it kind of lacks that smokiness, at least as much of that smokiness. And I just like how it's gone more in the fresh direction. But this right here, yeah, it's going a little bit sweeter. I gotta say, it's good, but I'm not liking it as much as I liked that initial smell in the air, right? Where it was just like, ooh, that burst of like freshness. Okay, it's kind of going okay right now. Yeah. And listen, I feel like Creed is known to be somewhat of the top house when it comes to niche fragrances, just because when people think Creed, they think status. There's a lot of celebrities and rappers that talk about how they wear Creed fragrances and they don't really wear the designer stuff anymore. So in a lot of people's heads, they're like, okay, Creed is the brand I have to go for. But for me, I've tried a decent amount of their scents. And again, I still feel kind of so-so about the brand. I think sometimes with longevity, it's lacking. And especially if you're dropping over $300 on a fragrance, that is something huge to consider. But it's okay right now. I still think at this moment, the Aventus cologne still sits on top. Dang, I really liked the way that this opened too. I'm gonna put it off to the side. All right. That, yeah, a little bit more of a masculine fragrance. Like a little bit. I don't find it like masculine though. You know what I mean? I still think, I don't know why this is the first thing that comes to my mind right now, but you know those fragrances from like Juliet Has a Gun? Like at least a lot of my followers that are women have talked about that brand a lot. And this kind of smells like something that those girls would like to wear. The type of girls that wear Juliet Has a Gun. For some reason, that's just what's popping up in my head right now. Like it's good. I really don't find it as masculine though as the original Aventus so far. All right, I'm gonna put it off to the side, but still a more summer spring fragrance, whereas Nomad rings to me as just a fall winter cold weather scent. And the last fragrance I'm gonna be doing is Le Parfum. It's Y Le Parfum by YSL. All right, I have made videos on YEDP, and every day people ask me about Le Parfum. So let's see how it goes. I'm gonna go back of the hand here. Oh, nice sprayer. All right, okay. Let me just say this, as I could smell this in the air right now. It's so interesting because with these two fragrances, like these are the two niche fragrances. This is the one designer. And in this video, it is very clear to my nose right now that you will not mix these up for a designer fragrance, and you will not mix this up as a niche scent. Like they are very clearly in the categories that they are. You know, it's kind of uncanny. I probably should have started with smelling Le Parfum first. And here's the thing. I love designer fragrances. I recommend designers all the time, especially to people that know me in person. I would never start off niche. I never recommend niche off the bat because one, people want to smell these things in person, and it's more accessible to give them a designer scent, and it's also more affordable. But right now, I could just tell you, it's a mass appealing blue fragrance. It's obviously a masculine scent. It's something that screams all ages and versatile to me. Like if you were to gift this to a teenager, gift it to a student in college, somebody that's in their mid-20s, even somebody in their 30s, 40s, whatever, they're going to smell fantastic with it. It just fits a lot of hats. Very different from Nomad by Bond 9, that I could clearly see the type of person wearing this. This is just kind of like a standard designer launch, and just a typical sort of designer scent that is meant to be mass appealing. It's not supposed to rock the boat. It stays very safe. It's not going to be daring. It's not going to be bold. The thing that I want to watch out for here is the longevity, because if the Le Parfum performs well, then that's definitely a thumbs up. And out of all of these, this is going to be my blind buy recommendation, because if you want to play it safe, then you got to go with something that is not going to be polarizing. You have to go with something that you can easily say, if I gift this to you, I know you're going to love it. I know the people you're around are going to love it. And it's just easy. It's easy. But the downside with that is people take that sort of response or opinion as a fragrance with no personality. And the thing is, I get that. Trust me, I get that. But the personality is really going to fall onto you. You know what I mean? That's how it's going to be. And in simple terms, you can delve deep into the fragrance game, but at the end of the day, people that wear fragrances just want to smell good. They want to be received as attractive to other people, and this will check off both the boxes for that. I can't tell you right now off the bat what notes are in this fragrance, but I hope the description of just it's a blue scent, like we're talking, if you've smelled things like Bleu de Chanel, Dior Sauvage, they all kind of have a similar ambroxan sort of base to them, that mainly more of Sauvage over Chanel, but that ambroxan base that pushes the fragrance, and that can be migraine inducing if you overspray it. I'll tell you right now, if you overspray this fragrance, it definitely might be a bit sharp for some people, and it might kind of get them off put with your scent. But overall, this is more synthetic than the other two I smelled. I could just tell you that right off the jump. It's good, but I mean, y'all saw me recently talk about Dior Sauvage Elixir, and I love, like, that fragrance. Very, very good. To me, I wouldn't really care if this was in my collection. to be honest. And yes, I do have a decent amount of fragrances in my collection, but if I would recommend this to people that are just starting in the fragrance game. Like if you don't have anything in your rotation and you just want like a simple scent that's gonna do you justice, and you think that Sauvage is too overused, Bleu de Chanel is maybe a little bit too mature for you, then you can go with something like Y Le Parfum and it should be fine. But the downside is you could get tired of this sort of scent. In fact, I actually say that because somebody that I know that I recommended YEDP to, he liked the fragrance, he was getting with it. And he's somebody that's not in the fragrance community. He just wanted me to give him a scent to make him smell good, right? He came back to me after maybe like a month or two asking for another recommendation because he's like, it's good, but it's kind of basic. You know, he got tired of the type of DNA that YEDP was, and it's a similar DNA here too. This is just like the Le Parfum of it all. But I actually recommended him Blue Agave by Precious Liquid, and he's been rocking that ever since. He's like, oh, this is so good. Everybody loves this. Nobody knows what it is. And it's just like, you know, it gives people that special sort of feeling of you walk into a room, everybody's going nuts over your fragrance, but they don't know what it is because one, people don't know niche because it's not as accessible. And two, it's just like an undercover niche brand that even people into fragrances are still kind of sleeping on, you know? So with something like Y, I think if you're somebody that is just getting it for your one trick pony, absolutely. But if you're someone that you know that you're like, okay, I do kind of want to expand on fragrances, I do think that there would be better options. Again, this is just my first impression of it, but as it lies here, I don't really care for it. I kind of give it like it's kind of like, you know, those Toomey fragrances, like the luggage fragrances, or I think YSL released something like Myself. That's the name of the fragrance, Myself by YSL. It's just a typical designer scent. Nothing that I'm like, y'all, this is like a $70 fragrance. But again, I'm going to let you know, if the performance is good, then we're rocking with it. But I have to say, out of all of these, I don't really, I'm not crazy about any of them. Really, I think the one that I would probably wear out of these three just day in, day out would be the Absolu Aventus, but I'm still not even, I mean, yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's getting a little bit better, but it's still you know, it's kind of Anyways, there it is, y'all. First impression of these very popular scents y'all have asked me about. I'm going to be doing videos on all the Creed samples that I got, more of the Bond 9s. This whole bag is basically filled with Bond 9 fragrances. I got a lot more designer scents here like Libre and Prada Paradox that I am going to make reviews on. But there it is. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of these 3 scents in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.